Okay, let's jump right in. Jumping in, I want you to look at this right here. I believe that's the security light, the alarm light, and then you have an outdoor light and you have an interior light as you drive down the ramp. This light to the left is your emergency lighting, as I understand. Let's. There is no data that supports that the alarm system control panel didn't work. There is no data that supports that. This was a state-of-the-art system, as I've gotten even more understanding of it. It's idiot-proof pretty much. The panel had a description of, hey, each floor, if you want to talk to this floor, set the X floor on alarm system, it was labeled. And you press a button and it will start the alarm, and you can also interject why you think they should evacuate. You could press this floor, so each one was assigned floors, and so you can evacuate the entire building, or you can do it rationally and get people without panicking coming out. Why we know it worked was because there's reports of it going home, the elevator going home, first floor for the firemen they used. There is the actual phone call from the company making the phone call to the police, to the fire station, if you will, the fire board, to get transportation going on for this fire. There is a CPU signal notification, which more than likely is from the collapsed and pressure reduction after the collapsed car area. There is that light that appears out there that appears to be the alarm system's light, the one of the security lights. One more thing, hold tight. Okay, so noteworthy. I've already posted this video, another video. The building next door where the cops go in, and we all think it's this building that they're evacuating. That's the same company. That's Matt's company. That's the alarm system. That's what it sounds like. Now, there is another video where the lights, if you want to see what these flashing white lights look like, give me one moment. So let's look at this video here. You understand, you're actually looking down the hallway of the building that collapsed.
It was 1:22 a.m. Ring video from a hallway inside Champlain Towers South captured the thunderous roar as the building began to collapse.
So they're taking some liberty with some sound in the background and all that, because the video would have shown the rest of this collapse at this point, but I don't know why the Ring camera, which is battery operated, didn't keep sending a signal. This is all we have, or that's just all they're presenting to us is a shot from the hallway. Hell, it could be days before, as far as I know, and this is just a narrative they're putting over it. But this is a Ring camera. I don't know if it's really the day of. You know how people are. They're deceptive people. I don't see any of this building moving.
That's what woke me up and threw me out of bed.
This is the station doing this. This WSV TV taking liberty for dramatic effect, and shock and awe.
Rodriguez was asleep in Unit 907.
And that's when I said to myself, what the hell's going on? We don't have earthquakes in Miami.
She ran to her balcony door.
Once I opened the sliders, this white...
There's your lights flashing there at the top of the structure.
Cloud just went, whoo!
She tried calling her longtime friends, Elaine Sabino.
Okay, now let me get you somewhere else. It's in this video. Okay, so my source you're going to see in the next few seconds. The flashing white lights, that is the system. So someone said maybe the light in the basement was the pollution of the reflection off a car, grills or whatever it may be, the reddish tone that was flashing against the wall. Maybe it was cars. That security light is on. The system did make phone calls to get the old ball rolling with the fire department. Nobody beat this guy to the fire department. This Premier, even with the system not designed to work under a collapsed structure, it's worked under fire, not collapsing structures. So it's ridiculous to say their system didn't work. Even if it didn't work, it's still ridiculous to bitch about it not working because the structure collapsed. But it did work. It did function. and it sent the one advisory thing, probably because of low pressure, because of vehicles being down in the parking garage, breaking all the pipe loops, causing the drop in pressure to so great that initially they got an advisory condition, and within 20 seconds it said, you know what, we're considering, the system said, this is a fire condition. It's when it goes to the CPU. The CPU then communicates directly. It does not rely on the tower phone service. It has its own system that directly contacts their board. Their board immediately jumped on a phone call to the fire department for that. They didn't say, oh, we also have an advisory commission. I'm not sure. They didn't downplay it. They said it's a fire. All right? They didn't downplay it. They didn't take liberty like that. The company, I think, is acting very professionally. And Matt's, he's here responding to some of your comments here. So how many other people can stand behind their system so much so to speak up? You don't see this happening with 87 Park speaking up. You don't see the security company speaking up in public like this. So I praise Matt and his company for speaking up with their attorney also.
Longtime friends Elaine Sabino and Dick Augustine, who lived in Unit 1210. No one answered. A call to her brother went to voicemail.
So I'm going to pause it. It's 109. Did you see the title of the video? You can come find it. Let me give you an idea what they look like. So this would be the ceiling mount version of it. Ceiling mount. I'll get you a wall mount. Hold on. I got to make sure I block identities. And this is what the wall mount would look like. Okay, so that's that flashing light you observe. So remember, I've got a lot of data on this. As I understand it, each floor also had its own battery backup. So that's why maybe even if the building collapsed, you can see it flashing still. It's not like you can say, oh, it's a home run. Electric still works there. It could be on battery at that point. I'll stand corrected. If I do stand corrected after, I get these videos reviewed, guys. And if I stand corrected, I'll correct it in the comments. But that's as I recall. So for a little more clarity, I'm saying that the strobe light, there's a light there. I think that's the alarm light also. But for clarity, I was informed there is a strobe light here that would be going off in this garage. And that's a strobe effect there. My coloration of that strobe, I don't know if you guys got to go through the video multiple times, zoom in. Do you see coloration? I like what one of you commenters said that, hey, you could be getting a flash off the a tail light of a vehicle, getting you that red. Also could be alarm of a vehicle, but it would have to be the one down low because the ramp would be blocking any vehicles back there. So it would have to be the one forward. And it could be the strobe, mix of strobe and the tail light. I guess you'd have to see the timing of it, figure out what strobe lights you're putting there, check the timing, and see if you can time it with a strobe. Compare it to an alarm system for a vehicle, which I did check alarm systems for vehicles. They're a lot faster. I did a lot of research on that last night. They have a faster pace on their alarm, on their thing. They're flash, 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 flash. They want to scream, look at me, look at me. If we could figure out what vehicles down there, maybe we can figure out what factory alarm they may have on them. And we can go from there. And then we could extrapolate, well, were they even able to flash because they were crushed? The other one is we have, over here to the left, we have a vehicle down here that is not crushed and no flashing lights. It's down here. We went over that one vehicle correction. It's right about there. So we see no flashing lights over here. So we've got to get flashing over here. And as far as I know, we can only get one car that's back. The rest would be not visible anymore as this deck is on the ground. Theoretically, that car shouldn't be able to flash. We shouldn't be seeing anything with the flash there. I don't think there was a car in that spot. And I think that was, is that Cassandra's spot? Right there. Anyway, let me move on. So here is we're running a DOS here, DOS pinned comment for now. Wouldn't the fire sprinkler call be documented somewhere? And we know it is documented. They call the fire department even and they have the logs that came to their station, if you will. The security, the alarm system companies, like the phone company. Okay, so the Verify, the ISP. Well, they've got it coming in, and the fire department, we got that too. We see the alarm lights working at the garage, but it is possible the communication lines were cut from the catastrophic building failure. And I just addressed that, and I'll address it again, that if I am wrong on anything, I do get these videos reviewed by interested parties, connected parties, and if it's wrong, I do an amendment there in the comments. But these have home runs back to the station, like their own communication, like a cell phone, all right, their own wireless system that goes back to report in. It does not require the building to have, it does not use the building's phone system, as I understand it. It has their own individual, and there are many of them, as I understand, DOS. So I think I'm reaching now. I think he was informing me that it's basically, you know, there's tons of them throughout there. That can report home. So it could be on the top floor, and the electric could be out in the top floor, which send a message saying, hey, you know, we got a fire on this floor. You know, it would talk to the CPU would send back to them. So they you know, it does go to the CPU, as I understand, first, and then from the CPU, out it goes. And that way all documentations, when the fire department comes in, as I understand it now, so the fire department comes in, you know, they don't have to get hold of the security company, the alarm system company. They look at the board and they're able to figure it out real quickly. Aha, this is the 12th floor. That's that board. And remember, this utility, this company, this Champlain Towers didn't want to pay for the luxury model, if you will, that would allow basically, I guess, another duplicate CPU to be reporting in at the sprinkler company, so they'll be able to visually see right then. Which would be like extra coverage if you had, say, a shitty security guard. You could then call in and say, look, you need to make sure you evacuate floor 12. If we have an alarm on floor 12, you know, maybe that's the way it works. Or, you know, this is just theoretical to me on that one for you guys. I didn't go that deep into how it works, but that's how I would see the advantage of it. The fire alarm system can't be expected to work 100% of the time, particularly with extreme failures that collapse. I agree, and yet this one worked. You got 9 replies, DOS. Well, let's just roll down because Matt jumped in on here on you. And he wrote to Jenny. Jenny, he says, when I received that email back, I was flooded and shocked my head in disbelief. So Jenny is up here where Jenny says, Kai, you raised a point which I found very disturbing. The email, which ended in a simple cheers. My eyes jumped to that immediately, and I consequently couldn't unsee it. Yeah, it's crazy, right? You're dealing with such a traumatic event, and people are still out there dead and possibly alive. And the response from the association, the management there, is cheers. So ambiguous, it means nothing besides identifying that you appear not to give a fuck, or you all of a sudden can't speak English. All right, so and then Matt, it's a fire alarm system. I think this is to DOS. It must sense smoke, particularly of heat, particles of heat. Manual means or water. Or manual means somebody triggers it. Or water flow movement. It's not a seismic detection. So we have water flow movement, guys. Remember water flow movement? That would be the sensor, the flow sensor I talked about a long time ago. And it senses the water movement because of one of the sprinkler heads are open. In this case, it's a 2.5-inch pipe. It's 1.5-inch pipes all the way down. If you don't break the 2.5, you got multiple 1.5-inch pipes broken. The volume of water was not designed to be such. I did some calculations, real calculations on it, on the original pump that was supposed to be there, approximately 800 psi. That video is coming out. 800 gallons per minute, 95 psi. And when I break that 2.5-inch pipe, I drop down to 400. It should signal way up, you know, I don't know, 10% differential. So it should signal the supervisory condition the moment that much water pressure, PSI, dropped from 95 to, I don't know what it dropped to. And I believe it's probably that flow that we're looking at. I believe the pump did kick in. I don't see why the pump would have failed at that condition, especially because it had a backup generator. So I don't have the pump failing, but I do have a reason why we get that flow that we see that's not 95 psi, because we have the brake in the back. So you guys know, Matt, I'm going to take a little, I can delete this, Matt, if you don't like this part of the video. So please, I'm going to take a little liberty on this one. And I'll state that Matt was so busy with the being sued, if you will, that he really wasn't following this content here, guys. The content on the on that, so he really didn't know about the possibly garage coming down first, the cars coming down first, and how it related to his system. He just knew his system was working. That's their position. Besides that, the insurance company takes over and master this. They don't care really what you think. They're going to make the decision whether you like it or not. And we see that they just throw everybody under the bus, including the guy, now the pool guy. I didn't know the pool guy got it. Really? The pool's still there with water in it. And dude has come out of pocket for like $1 million. How do they force these insurance companies to do that? Well, the insurance companies are voluntarily doing it. As Matt's lawyer said, they must be doing it for some humanitarian reasons, just not to look like a jerk. But it makes your company look bad when they just throw it under the bus. Like you ever been sued? Yes. Have you ever paid out? Yes. You're a pool company. Oh, you caused a collapse at that building? No, we're just a pool company. The water was in there, and my insurance company paid out, let's call it $1 million. It's like, but we had nothing to do with it. And how about the excavator guy that just dropped off the backhoe? Yeah, you've been sued? Yes. What for? Hey, that building that collapsed? Oh my gosh, you had party to do that? No, we dropped off a backhoe. Well, why did your company pay, $250,000? I don't know. They paid it. They should have fought it. All we did was drop off a piece of equipment. Same thing with the sprinkler system guy. Hey, why you get sued? Hey, I don't know. Our system worked. We made notification to the police department. The original collapse is from the garage. It destroyed the water supply system. Nobody in their right mind can argue that water supply didn't fracture over there at the garage when it went down, and that would cause a flow issue. And at that point, their system is not designed to even function anymore, besides send a signal. And CPU would have been there, right, to tell us more about, the advisory thing, you have a flow issue, excessive flow, low PSI, and then you would say, why is that? Oh, broken pipe. Oh, wait a minute, the whole friggin' garage is down, there's broken pipes everywhere. But NIST, in their powerful, deceptive ways, because remember, Matt's lawyer said this alarm system, the security system, the alarm system went off for 4 days, sent notification. You know what that also tells you? Is that, let me, I played devil's advocate, how I played Columbo. So what happened was NIST got to the building, they're like, we're taking charge here. What data can we grab? We got cameras here? Grab all the video cameras you can. Oh yeah, next door too. And, they got a CPU board. Yep, grab that CPU board. And then all of a sudden, Matt's company, on the day one that NIST shows up, it just goes dark. And he's like, So Matt's interpretation, our equipment just went dead. Matt's not familiar with NIST or anything else, so he would say, okay, equipment went dead, whatever. And they never notify anybody. All right, now undoing my Columbo move, what did I just say wrong? Matt's lawyer informed us, and how proud Matt was of his system, is proud of his system, that it still sent battery backup 4 days messages to Matt's company. 4 days of messages. You know what that tells you? That means NIST and everybody else there, the fire department, did not remove Matt's CPU fucking system. They left it there. They had no interest in grabbing evidence, did they, guys? This is just government, and this is the superheroes down there, which how I feel about that. That's why I get shadow banned. But this is bullshit. It shows, there's always an inverse something, right? Inversely, I was watching them shoot the people or kill the people. And you're like, inversely, you just told me you were watching them. You did nothing. Inversely, Matt's system is getting 4 days of notification, right? So inversely of that is that they left that CPU intact right where it was. So I have a very high confidence that they demoed that building, and nobody recovered the CPU. And these are all these guys with these PhDs out there. I dislike people that want to show you a PhD. Like, don't show me your poor ass degree. You know that you have to qualify yourself by just getting more training from someone above you that says this is what I tell you to think, and then you finally write your doctorates. I can write quite a few doctorates. Mine would be on this building, I believe. I just need a little more data. But I'm not into that bullshit stuff. That's not what I want to be known for. The amygdala is what I want to be known for. All right, so let's reading Matt's rest of his comments here. He states to DOS now, I believe. It's not a seismic detector system. It's a central station notification. So central station is what they call it, right? I call it home base, whatever. The fire department and dispatch those trucks. It's a tragedy what occurred, but if the building right there, I'm reading here, had properly trained people, the system would have saved, let's say, saved more lives. When we installed this system, we trained a property manager, engineering, maintenance, and any interested board member on how the system operates. At the final inspection, this particular property had a change in manpower. Now let's talk about that. Matt's making a declaration here on here. He's made it to me also. Who could dispute this? Well, the board could dispute it. Remember the Cheers person? They could dispute Matt and go, well, I'll take you on that, Matt. You never trained us. It's not true. Matt's company trained multiple people there. If they said that on their own, Matt could just simply subpoena the people that he trained, the management personnel they trained, because they changed over management there also at CTS. And obviously they disrespected the importance of training people on the fire board, on the fire system there, which as I understand is pretty idiot proof. It's got, I'm taking some liberty of writing with my finger here. It's got tags that will say, which floor, first floor, second floor, and identify, press this button, this one, and this will do a general alert. So you can start evacuating and the all call rather. And you can also speak, press the call. And it's automatic though. If you just press it, it will send the alarm system out. And it's up to the people to get the hell out, or just take their time and think nothing of it. That's their choice at that point. You can't go in there and drag them out. So, but as I understand it, the security guard did none of that. And it's by the security company that said they understand nothing was pressed. Nothing was pressed. No button was pressed. None of those systems pressed. So you can't blame the match company for not pressing a button. They can't press a button. It would be dangerous for them to press the button, even from their station. Oh, I'm just going to assume I can do this and start evacuating the press buttons from where you're not on scene. It would be dangerous. They could start people, like you said, backing up in the hallway, whatever it may be. But remember, this elevator went to the ground floor. That's reported by many people. That shows that it's working. Also note this, as I understand this system through the inside source there, is that no matter what floor the alarm was triggered on, the 12th floor or the basement, this elevator is always going to go home to the first floor. So no matter what. So if you pull the alarm on 10th, 11th floor, manually pull it, bye-bye elevator. First floor, it's gone, lockout for the firemen to use. And whoever's in there, they get to get off on the first floor, and that's it. First floor will also alarm, no matter what floor you're on. So first floor is alarming no matter what floor it is, and we know the elevator went to the first floor. And I'm telling you, there are buttons back there that say silent. There's a button back there that says silent. Silent. And you just tap it, doop, and it's now silent. The alarm is now, this siren is silent. That's what I want to know. Once it went to first floor, did we hear the siren? Or did we hear the siren on this, the alarm system on this one? It was silent at the time of her video, the lady's video. She called in multiple times, security guard. It was silent in the background, assuming she's still in the building or thereabouts where the alarm could be heard. That CPU would have told if she pressed that silent button. Nevertheless, even if she didn't press it and it was silent, it still did the other operations. And we would need a CPU to figure out why did it not scream on the first floor. It only had to scream on the first floor, just so you guys know. And if so, maybe it has to scream on the basement floor too. I'm not sure, but the first floor for sure. It always sets the alarm off on the first floor. Again, I'll stand corrected. I'll comment there if I get this wrong, because I do share this for clarity, to make sure that if I'm screwing up. All right, rest of Matt's comments, and we're going to wrap it up. So they got hold of the fire department, and we know the delay that fire department, the police personnel fired it, put them on hold and everything else. That's disgusting. But I do not think it would have saved any lives. What would have saved lives probably if the security guard would have said that she's a security guard when she called in to the fires to the emergency. If she would have stated, I'm the security guard, maybe the training there, I don't know. Now, if the reporter wants to act like a hero, he should contact them and say, look, if a security guard called you, would you tell them to press the all-call button to start evacuating the building if they told you it's an earthquake? Remember, she said earthquake, not a fire. So there's no fire present. All right, per own so earthquake. Would they have told them on a all requested that? Would that Would that operator, specifically that operator, told them? So the question is, for that operator, would you have told that security guard to press that, or would you held the security guard on the phone? Would you have told them to press it? And also, do you have training to tell security guards make sure you press the all call? Because you know they got CPR, right? They can teach you CPR over the phone. Do they also do the press button thing? She never identified herself as security guard to the emergency dispatcher when she called. Not the first time, nor the second time that we hear. The other thing, but when the cop rolls up on her, she now all of a sudden can identify herself as security. Amazing, right? Let's go on. I got a few videos already backed up, but this one's going to jump the line. What occurred in the building had properly trained. So they trained quite a few people, as I understand. And remember, you can subpoena them. If you want the data, you can find out who they trained. Question them, hey, were you trained how to operate that button? And if they say yes, you go, ha. So at some point, you find the break is going to be in the condo association, where they no longer notified, as Matt states here, here's the company saying, look, can you come out and do more training again? Can you train the new people on how to operate this system? The security company should have made that part of their thing, but they claim to be concierge, then claim to be security. They jumped around, didn't they? Anyway, he got hit for the $517 million. All right, get back to the rest. Train people. Where we go. And change in manpower. Yes, I'm familiar with the change in manpower, guys. It's not just like, one guard change out. No, this is multiple guard change out. In this case, she was there 5 months. She got to look at that panel for 5 months to read all those little buttons and everything else. Assuming she reads English, it's in English, that she got to look at that for 5 months. And again, I want to know if she silenced the buttons. Remember, she's MIA. She's put herself nowhere to be found. That probably would have been a question, and why did you make the phone calls to all those people in the building? Reported by one of the sons. I remember going live on a TV where he stated, I want to know why the security guard kept calling, because he pulled the phone records for his mother while she was still in the rubble, dead. And he wanted to know why the security guard kept calling her. That was no answer to that. No answer ever came of that. Reading on. Property manager, maintenance personnel, security is impossible to retain unless notified. Had the building called us, this is what Matt said, that there was new staff, we would have been more than happy to train them to use the fire alarm system. At the end of the day, it's simply a tool. It still needs human interaction to properly evacuate the building. All right, there's no auto evacuation. All right, on this one, it still needs the help, to do it properly, like you said, so you don't cluster people. Hey, it's the fire code there, I also want to mention, in regards to the Miami Herald article, that the reporter not only had access to the documents that I'm reading to you guys now, he has access from the Miami-Dade Fire Department on the sequence of operations on how this fire alarm system works, permits, plans, all the details to make an intelligent analysis. He had also the Central Station time logs, which we have also, guys, which we're sharing, and he shared too. We're going to get to it. We got plenty. Matt gave me so much that it's a lot to process to get you videos. It's not, look how long this video took. I want it to be 5 minutes. It's a half an hour now. And so Matt says, as a peddler reporter, you're just trying to make money. you know, to keep working at it, you know, to make money. You can read the rest. I agree with Matt. You know, it's disgusting. Somebody told me that Josh is just doing it to promote his channel, to promote his business. Of course, we know Tool Time is just doing it. He's all over the place. From there's a water leak in the roof, there's a planter box, to there's a forklift driving on it, to there's the ties that they anchored to the roof to that caused the collapse, to whatever Josh might say, to stroking Papa Smurf's Jimmy Jam, you know, to you can't talk bad about Shamoka. The boy is a used car salesman, literally a used car salesman. We saw his video on that, and tools, and yet he's doing this because, remember, guys, you got to have why the motive. The motive. He gets tasked on the reveal how much money he's made on this. The analytics will tell, and I will give him $5,000 if he can show he didn't make $5,000 on his content, on this content here, that based off of this. I will come up with $5,000. He can sue me for that to prove it. If he once he loses, double down, he owes me 10 grand. I don't. There's no freebie here. 10 grand. I put my 5 to his 10. It's an easy 5. All right. Josh is doing it for promoting his company, as people have told me. Remember, this is the guy that said it's post-tensioning failure. It's post-tensioning failure. And so anybody following him is following a guy that's just way off, every which way also. No different than pretty much probably, what's his name? So don't follow these damn, like Miami Herald and all this crazy stuff. Building caused the collapse. No post-tension. Josh Porter, Miami Herald, right? And I want you to watch my video, but pause it. And when you pause it, look at the comments under his video. Not mine, under his video. You can look under mine too, of course. But look under his video and you'll see where people are talking about no post-tensioning there and everything else. Then he tries to say he does a retraction change video, but he left it up. He left it up. He's still going on in his video, because remember, I paused that video is the video he's talking about his post-tension failure in. And people are calling him out on it in that video. But he left it up, and look at his subscribership at there. It's like 1.7 thousand subscribers. Now look at it, about 50,000 plus. But he left that up, that false information up to promote for promotional reasons. That's the only thing that everyone keeps telling me, promotional reasons. So, that's why it was left up, to make his channel go from 1.7 thousand to 50K. And then he goes to the content where he said it was post-tensioning failure. Then all of a sudden he goes to. So disingenuous. There you go. So you follow you follow who you believe is capable in this. With all that said, I'm willing to go live, head to head with him. You can add more engineers to this conversation. The more the merrier. We can go live on a YouTube, and we can all just really go at this building. You share your data, I share my data. We just go at it. All right? And only the public comes out the winner on it. And take care. That's a challenge. Just bring it on. And I'll try to be as nice as I can. I can only promise so much with that. All right. Bye.